Little did Juma Mwanga know, this day in 1947 would be the catalyst for a revolutionary storm stirring beneath the surface of colonial Kenya. The air was thick with anticipation as whispers of dissent spread through the small village of Kondele. Tensions between the British colonial powers and the Kikuyu people had reached a boiling point, fueled by land dispossession and forced labor. Juma, a humble farmer and father of three, had no idea that he was about to play a pivotal role in a conspiracy that would change the course of Kenyan history. As Juma sat outside his mud-walled home, a group of men gathered under the shade of a nearby fig tree. They shared stories of their struggles against the harsh British taxation laws and the loss of their ancestral land. The whispers soon grew into passionate calls for action as the men decided to form a clandestine society called the Mau Mau, which aimed to reclaim their land and rights. Juma felt a burning fire ignite within him. This was not merely a fight for land, but for dignity and identity. Word of the Mau Mau's existence soon leaked to the colonial government. Alarmed, the British began an aggressive campaign to dismantle the movement. They deployed soldiers and set up a network of informants, but the Kikuyu had their own intelligence system. Juma, with his keen sense of observation, started gathering intelligence for the Mau Mau. In the shadows, he and other members devised plans and routes for safe meetings, all while providing coded messages to fellow members. The quiet courage of ordinary men like Juma became a direct threat to colonial rule. As 1948 rolled around, things took a darker turn. British officials, in a calculated move to suppress the growing insurgency, cracked down on suspected Mau Mau members. Villages were raided, men arrested, and women and children were subjected to violence. The Mau Mau's strategies grew bolder, leading to acts of sabotage against British installations. The fear gripping the colonial government intensified, forcing them to take drastic measures. In April 1950, the British launched Operation Anvil, a military campaign meant to root out the Mau Mau in Nairobi and surrounding areas. Juma watched in terror as soldiers rounded up thousands of Kikuyu suspected of being Mau Mau sympathizers. His family was torn apart, and many neighbors disappeared into detention camps. Silent cries of anguish filled the night as the repression escalated. However, this was also a pivotal moment for the Mau Mau rebellion. Under pressure, the group became united in their cause, strategizing more effectively than ever. The legend of Juma and others quickly spread, transforming them into symbols of resistance. Even in the darkest days of the crackdown, secret meetings flourished, and plans for a coordinated uprising sparked a flame of hope among the Kikuyu. Despite the overwhelming brutality of the British forces, the momentum was shifting. The Mau Mau rebellion inspired other tribes throughout Kenya to rise against colonial rule. Exiled politicians began lobbying for Kenyan independence on international platforms, shedding light on the brutal practices of colonial governance. In 1952, Juma was captured during one of the many purges. Despite the horrors he witnessed in detention, he remained steadfast in his belief that the struggle was necessary for the future of his community. After a long battle, Kenya ultimately secured independence in 1963, but the scars of the conflict had left deep emotional wounds. The enigmas and conspiracy behind the Mau Mau movement illustrated the power of ordinary citizens against colonial tyranny. Juma Mwanga remains an unsung hero in history, reminding us that true resistance often grows in the shadows of oppression. Little did he know, his quiet intentions would become a rumbling revolution that echoed through the pages of Kenya's history.